So over the last 30 years, I have coached literally thousands of pitches and thousands of salespeople making pitches. And typically, they all seem to make the same sort of 3 or 4 mistakes when they're going to go and pitch. And this one is probably the most common. They have the wrong conversation with the client. And so let me give you an analogy to try and help you understand what the conversation with the client should be and why the conversation that you're probably having is the wrong one, and then you can maybe do something about it. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to try and sell you a box. So it's a shoe box, it's about this big, okay, and I'm going to try and sell it to you for $100. And so we'll start off, as I do this in an auditorium. This is fairly interesting. Like, I've got a shoe box here. Who wants to buy this for $100? If you're human and you have a pulse, a question popped in your head. And that question was, what's in the box? I said, okay, right, I'm not going to tell you what's in the box. I'm going to try and sell you the box and its contents without telling you what's in it. And I'm going to try and do it by giving you a really good offer. And so here's offer number 1. Buy the contents of the box for $100, put it on eBay, and I guarantee you that by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, you will have sold the box and its contents for $1,000. Who's in? Right? Typically, in any kind of auditorium, 20-30% of the people put their hand up. Fork out 100, get 1,000. That's a great return on investment. I'm in. Right? But only about a third of the audience max. So I have to sweeten the deal. Right? So here's offer number 2. Offer number 2 is put it on eBay. If you haven't sold it by tomorrow morning, I'll give you your money back. Like, no risk. Right? $100 straight back in your pocket if you haven't sold it. Okay. Now I increase the number of people who are prepared to take a punt at this, based on what they know about me, based on how they feel about me, based on whether they think this is a con or not. Most of them, if they like me and trust me, are going to go for that deal. I can make it even better and get, usually I can get nearly 90% of the people in the room by making this offer. I'm so convinced that you will get $1,000 for this by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning that if you don't, I will buy it back off you for $1,000, and you can keep the $100 I've already given you. Can I have your business? And the answer is 90% of the people in the room, maybe even 99% of the people in the room, are prepared to buy this on the basis of that. The other 1% of the people who are watching this going, well, I wouldn't buy it, like, they're not going to be convinced to buy this until I lift the lid on the box and I show them that the cocaine is really good cocaine. And now hopefully some of you are laughing. And the point is, some people are so risk averse that they won't make a decision until they've explored all of the possible downsides. These are the people who are still using Nokia 6410s because it works, I don't need an iPhone. Like, they are an unusual mindset. But what you have to recognize is that most of you were prepared to make a decision without all of the risk covered because on balance, it felt like it was a good deal. Hold that thought. Let's change this up a little bit. Let's say I want to buy a product or a service, right? It doesn't matter what it is. Let's say I want to buy, investment consultancy for my pension. And so I go find a client, in this case, one of my clients, Mercer, and I say to them, right, okay, here's my problem. Can you tell me what your solution is, right? And so Mercer go away, and they put together a solution. And they decide, right, okay, so, this is the investment strategy, this is the investment consultant, this is the scheme actuary, this is how it's all going to work, this is the reporting, this is all the bits that we're going to do. And they go away and design a solution, right, that fits me, right? And then they bring the solution to me in a box, which we call an RFP, and they put it in front of me, and first question I go is, oh, what's in your box? And they've spent months putting this together, and so they lift the lid and they start to show me all the bits, all the clever bits they've put in the solution. All looks good, right? They've spent 3 months putting it together. I spend an hour looking at it in the presentation, right? And then they leave. And I'm never going to talk to one person, and so the next person comes in. Right? And they've had the same brief, same problem, okay? And they come in, and I say, what's in your box? And they lift the lid, and guess what? What's in their box is pretty much the same as what's in their box. They've also got investment consultants, and they've also got, reporting systems, and they've also, it's all exactly the same stuff because it's trying to solve exactly the same problem, and the nuances between the two solutions, which they might understand, I don't, because I'm only spending an hour looking at it, not the 3 months designing it. And then I'll go to a third person because I can't really run a procurement process without three. And now I've got three solutions that arguably all look the same. Now, here's the thing about memory. The thing that you remember is the thing that you are exposed to 5 or 6 times. So I've had 3 presentations, and where they overlap, I got repetition. So you had to have, they all thought this was important, they all thought that was important, they all thought these. And so I come away, and my impression of all 3 of these solutions is that pretty much they're the same. And that pretty much they'll deliver the solution I want. And so really hard for me to understand what the value is of any of these. Right? And so often these decisions aren't about the value because I don't see any value in it. It's about the people and the price. It's like, who do I want to deal with and how much is it going to cost me? Right? And if I can't justify doing with them because it's cheaper, then I'll justify going with them because I like them and I kind of want to spend time with them. And so we're not making rational decisions on value because nobody is getting out of the box and telling people, this is why our box is worth more to you than the other boxes. Here's what's different. Here's what drives value. Here's the reason why you would choose this rather than that. So instead of explaining how we operate and what we will do, we focus on why us, not them. And that's moving from how, which is what everybody thinks about, to why, which is what the client needs to hear in order to make a decision and pick Mercer or whoever.